Welcome to the Savage channel. What exactly is that? Well, this is Savage, and myself and my wife Lisa, we're going to be cruising and passage making on the east coast of North America. Then our hopes and aspirations are to cross the Atlantic and explore Northern Europe and the Mediterranean. Savage is a very capable boat built out of steel. She's 53 years old. Even I'm older than that, but the boat's very good. It's solid, it's well maintained, and I'm going to show you around the boat in a short while. Unfortunately, due to the strains and difficulty of the early part of our passage from Florida up to New York, which was our shakedown cruise, 1,000 miles, I didn't do any filming for the first part. We had a lot of issues. The boat hasn't been offshore for maybe 6-7 years, and we started to find out what those issues were when we were offshore in nasty waves, bad weather, and as I said, it was very stressful, so no filming. However, we're going to pick up the story somewhere off North Carolina. In our passage to Beaufort, we came across this derelict yacht called the Coast Guard, who were unable to provide assistance. They were aware of its existence and said it broke off from somewhere in Florida, and this is as far as it has drifted to date. Well, we're still off the Outer Banks, waiting for a tow, because our starter motor won't start the main engine. Looks like it's burnt out. You can see the sea state here. It was a little lumpy last night. Savage is currently in an industrial park that's also like a sport fishing center. It's on the north side of Pamlico Sound in North Carolina, at the top end of the Outer Banks. Here we are down in the engine room. This is the generator, and don't worry about all the noises going on in the back there, because my shipmate Kenny is working on a totally separate problem, electrical problem. But this is our issue right here. You see, I don't know whether you can see the bucket, but there's a bucket here where we're draining all the oil out of the engine. The oil has been a combination of the engine oil and raw water, as in seawater, that comes from outside of the boat, that is getting into the engine and going into the oil, and that is very bad. So I've taken the pump off. It was there. We have a new pump coming because the seal in the back of the pump here is broken, and as water goes through here and through the pump, there's a little wheel in there, and then out the other side, some of that water is coming past the seal here and going inside here, the bearing, and it's going back into the engine. That's our issue. The way to solve it, new pump. And when the new pump arrives, which will be Monday, it's currently Thursday, so we'll be here for a while, we have to make sure that the surface here is ready to have the new pump go on. For that, we need a new gasket, and this one is absolutely messed up. And the best way to do this is you get a razor blade like this. You buy them in packs of 20, and we're just going to shave off the old gasket until we have a nice, drop the blade, we'll have a nice smooth surface. Okay, finally got a nice clean surface on. Well, we're getting carried away now. just because we'd been doing all this work on the generator, we decided we'd swap out the water pump on the main engine. It used to go here, and we've got all the parts taken off. We're now cleaning up the gasket head, and then this beautiful brand new pump that cost a fortune will be going back in place of the grubby old one that came off that will get rebuilt. Well, the good news is we're underway again, and we're just setting our stabilizing sails to help with some of the roll. We've got another one up the front there that just needs to be deployed, and then we've put out our stabilizer rig, but we haven't yet deployed the fins, which is still in their little cradle there. We'll wait until things start getting a little more roly-poly before we need them. They do create drag. We lose maybe half a knot of boat speed. So in the interest of fuel economy, I'm going to keep them on board for now. Well, it's all going well. Beautiful day. A bit of a swell going on. However, we haven't yet deployed the vanes because it's relatively comfortable. We'll see how that goes as the day progresses. And we might put the fish in tonight. So we're off the Delaware Bay now, and there's a bunch of ships anchored here. One there, one out here. I come in and show you the radar. They are everywhere, but they're not moving. They're all anchored, so that makes it easy for us. We'll just pass that way. I know I promised you a walk around the boat, but that's going to have to wait for episode 2 because it would just make this too long. Well, we're approaching New York Harbor, and this is the radar. Look at all those radar targets. It is quite daunting. Well, it's pretty busy around here. I'm just going to walk out and show you what's going on. Barges everywhere. In the distance, the Staten Island ferry coming out of Manhattan. Barges moving there. More barges. There's a Staten Island ferry coming from Staten Island, and everything is in flux, but I'm lucky that I spent quite a bit of time here. I know where the ferries come from, where they're going, and how to avoid them. Cruising into New York never gets old. Amazing skyline. Incredible.